Long may that continue.
Finn Owen, I'm going to have to throw it across the far end as well. Obviously, being a hometown of Finn, and then Owen, someone who's come halfway across the world. What that partnership sort of, what does it bring to the club for you?
Well, I mean, for me, obviously being partnered with such a big company like Reckitt's is brilliant. Obviously, all the products they provide, just great. I think obviously for them as well, with us playing nationally up and down the country, it's great exposure. You never know who's watching, who's looking at the shirts, who's looking at the sponsors. So I think it really does a great deal for not just us, but also the sponsors as well.
Been nailed it on the head there. It's all good.
And of course, throughout the season, I'm sure they've had a lot of opportunity to sort of learn more about the company as well. And for the hometown, I'm thinking of you three guys. One of the biggest employees in the city, one of the biggest multinational companies in the city. But to have the opportunity to work with them, I'm sure you'll have took a lot in throughout the year.
Yeah, like these three lads said, it's brilliant, and I hope that they're happy with us and we are with them, and long may it continue. And I think it's just good getting the exposure that we do and stuff like that, and like I said earlier, learning about the products and stuff, and going down to Reckitt's and just seeing the side of the buildings, and it's crazy, to be honest. Yeah, and the office is in Slough, like near the rink. When we was there, we seen them, didn't we? So yeah, it's good.
And then it's not just obviously what you've learned about the company, but it's what the club and the company have done together throughout the year as well. Bobby, you mentioned a lot of people, employees of Reckitt have probably become fans through the partnership, coming every single week. You mentioned about, those other things, you've been down to the offices, you've had the opportunities to meet the kids. And I say, what other sort of experiences have you had sort of throughout the year, from this partnership?
The scale of the players was a good one. Obviously, getting into meet, the fans and sort of things like that. But what I didn't realise as well is when we do the man of the match, there's often people from Reckitt's who come from Reckitt's, sort of China, Singapore, things like that. It is like an absolutely massive company, and obviously I didn't actually realise it was that big, sort of outside of Hull. And you've got sort of people coming from all over the world. It is that. I mean, I can't believe that this company actually sort of sponsors us. Really, I mean, we play for the Stingrays, and there was nothing like that, was there? So yeah, just great to sort of have it on board, really.
And I think us moving forward as a club, we want to just build and bring trophies back to Hull and keep the fans coming in, and I think with them on board, it's going to work massive for both sides. So I think let's keep it going. Lucy boy.
I'd say it's been great to have the lads up here tonight. Does anybody have any questions? Just whilst we've got them up here.
Tim, get your hand down.
Can I ask just
yes, of course, Chris.
We've got tonight with Reckitt, we've got a lot of leaders from other businesses, from Future Humber. We've got leader of the council, Mike here. I guess for me, one of the important things, having played the sport when I was young and this place opened, I understand the passion and the grit that goes with it. Can we just hear from each of you how you got into it, and really emotionally, I suppose, what it means for you and how important you think this sport is for Hull and the region? I think it's just nice to hear that from people who've grown up with the sport.
Yeah, of course. I don't know if you want to start, Bobby.
Yeah, me and Towns, we played together from kids, and Finn is a bit younger than us, so. But it's massive for us all to come back and play for Hull and try and grow the sport in Hull. And I think we're just scratching the surface. I think there's so much more we can do just on the ice and also off the ice. I think with them on board, we can just take this to another level, and obviously bringing the trophies and the fans in, I think, and the sponsors as well. I think it's just going to grow massively and grow it in Hull. So looking forward to it.
What was your question again? Sorry, I lost my train of
Just
thought.
trying to get, I think, because for a lot of people here, they won't know what age you guys get into it, and we've got a lot of local people, then we've got people like Owen who've moved in, but trying to make Hull a real centre of attraction for talent and sport. What does ice hockey mean to the city, and what do you think we could do more of? How passionate are you about it? What does it mean to you? All that kind of stuff.
Well, I started when I was, like Ruben said, 4, and my dad was just a massive hockey nerd, really. That's the only way I can describe him. So that's how I started, and obviously sort of came I used to come watch the Thunder, I think it was then, and then it ended up being the Stingrays, and obviously, you know, you just sort of want to play for them, it's your hometown team, and then obviously now that's something that I get to do. But in terms of what it looks like moving forward, I think obviously we've got a lot of young lads who I'm lucky enough to play with at the minute, so thanks there, boys. So the future's in quite good hands, but I think growing it in Hull probably starts with us. Like you said, Bob, you know, the trophies and things like that, and getting people through the door, and you know, that's what this is all about, really, isn't it?
And obviously, also grown up in Hull, but you know, a bit of a different, you know, era to these guys, should we say, to put it politely. And then finding your way back to, I said politely, politely. And of course, finding your way back to hometown now, we've been out for a few years in Manchester.
Yeah, so I mean, I was a bit different to Towns. Neither of my parents ever watched a game of hockey. It was just rainy on a Sunday. Didn't know what to do with me when I was younger, so we came for a public skate here at the rink. And the coach of the academy was here, and looked, I could skate, and he was like, "All right, okay. Have you ever tried ice hockey? Have you ever heard of it?" And my parents were like, "No, I'm like, we don't even know what it is." So he said, "Come down to learn to play," and obviously it just went from there. So I grew up playing here, and then played a couple of years in the Sheffield junior system, and then I actually moved over to America in Lake Placid. I was there for 3 years at school, and then I came back to Manchester, and then played a couple of games for Hull last year, sort of on loan on a two-way, and loved it, loved the club, loved everybody involved. Joe and Matty obviously have a lot of passion and care for the club, and really want to grow it. And I was obviously just honoured to be a part of it, and honoured that they wanted me back for this year. As they've said, obviously and obviously winning these big games on like Wednesday will do a great deal for bringing people through the doors, and obviously growing that fan base and growing that structure. And the sponsorships and partnerships really help that as well.
So being from Canada, didn't really think I'd end up in Hull. It's kind of a crazy spot. And like last year I played in Bristol, and the news came out that I signed here, and everyone's like, "Oh, you're going to a rough city. Like, what are you thinking?" And then ever since I started talking to Maddie and Joe, like, it's been the complete opposite. I think what's going on in Hull is something that people don't really see from the outside. And that goes back to companies like Reckitt as well. Like, people don't really know what they have in their own backyard, and just been enjoying it ever since. And I think the future is nothing but bright.
I think that's the best way to end that. I think, Joe, the future's nothing but bright, and that's quote Owen Sobchak. But got to say thanks very much for everyone, for attending tonight. Hope you've enjoyed the game, and hope you're all back soon.